active in litigation campaigns in the city of Irving on single-member districts for the city council and for the school board. We've also been very active on apartment complex defense of tenants who have been living in unconscionable conditions such as Oak Villas and other apartments. Chief Dye talks about the issues at Exo Discotheque. There's never been, like Ms. Johnson said, and like we've requested, there isn't one single police report that anyone has in front of you that will show criminal activity on behalf of Ekizo. We've asked them to produce that. We've asked them to show us a document or an arrest warrant or a indictment instrument that says criminal activity is going on at Ekizo. Hasn't happened. We've asked him to give us a copy of the indictment instrument of the narcotics agent who bought drugs at Ekizo. They haven't been able to produce that. They haven't been able to produce any documentation, any evidence, anything to support his hearsay allegations that an undercover police officer sold drugs to someone at Ekizo. Never happened. There's no record. There's no criminal complaint. There's no arrest. He talks about a shooting that happened at Conoco Station. Well, he fails to mention that at Conoco Station there's also a discotheque that's in Arlington that basically caters to the same group of individuals. There's been a history of problems at Conoco, and this is not the first time that there's been altercations at Conoco, yet he places the blame on Ekizo. Again, there's no criminal complaint, there's no indictment instrument, there's no arrest of any individuals, there's no police report that said this individual walked out of Ekizo and committed a shooting 2 blocks away from Ekizo. There's nothing except hearsay evidence. He talks about TABC, Mr. Alexander, saying to him, they have not complied with TABC. We've asked Chief Dye to produce a document from TABC showing a citation, a written citation from TABC saying, Ekizo, you have violated TABC laws, you're not in non-compliance with TABC, and here's the citation, and you have either to correct it or you lose your license. Again, Chief Dye never produced that document. I've spoken to Officer Lieutenant Alexander. There's no citation. They've never, ever received a citation from TABC. He talks about, the security. We have police officers who are at Ekizo providing security. There's never been an arrest of any individual from Ekizo for any criminal activity. We've asked them to show us the 15 arrests that were made, and the 15 arrests, we'll concede they were probably arrests. But they were arrests when Grand Prairie Police Department pulled over people driving on Jefferson and pulling into Ekizo and asking for driver's license and making sure that they had seat belts and making sure that they didn't have any warrants, and then they arrested people. Did they arrest all 15 from Ekizo? Probably not. We've asked them for that information. Again, we haven't received it. He talks about me referring to these individuals as thugs. I've said it, and I've said it in Farmers Branch. I've said it in Irving. I said it in immigration reform. If there's criminals that need to be deported, deport the criminals. But do not deport people who work hard. And if there are thugs coming into a club, we don't want those thugs there, and we'll do everything that we possibly can to make sure that there are no problems at that club. It's been a month. She's had activity every month, every week, Fridays and Saturdays. Same number of people. This Saturday she had 600 people. The week before she had 700 people. The week before she had 500 people. There's not been one incident of any criminal activity. There hasn't been 15 calls. But you know why there's not that 15 calls? And you know why there's not that police presence? because we went out there and we videotaped it. We videotaped it and put it on YouTube. And we showed the excessive behavior of Grand Prairie Police Department. And I'm willing to share with you those videos, those photographs, the affidavits of the individuals that were pulled over, who were basically pulled over simply because they were black African American or that they were Hispanic. 3 weeks, ask Chief Dye to show you the reports for the 3 weeks and how many police calls he has received and how many arrests have been made at Ekizo, and he will tell you that not one single arrest has been made, that the calls have almost disappeared, and there is no police presence at Ekizo. So it is very difficult for us to compete with Chief Dye. I respect him. I love his story about his wife being from Guanajuato, but it's not about who's from Guanajuato. It's about justice. It's about whether or not this woman has done everything within her power to operate a club as well as she can. But you cannot operate a business when you have towers that you find in Walmart monitoring thousands and thousands of people in a space for 150 or 500 individuals. You can't have business operation when you have 15 squad cars parked in the middle of her entrance. And then you have one on Jefferson, you have one on Great Southwest, you have one by Hi-Ho, you have one going south and west. It's not an attempt to eliminate a business that has criminal activity. It's a premeditated campaign to take a business away from a Hispanic woman who caters to African Americans. And that is what it's all about.
Your time is up.
Thank you. And I'd like now to present Maria Chavira, and she could tell you firsthand her own experience. And if she needs a translator, I'd be more than happy to translate. ¿Quieres hablar en español?
Sí, buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas tardes a todos. Good evening to everyone.
Mi nombre es María Chavira.
My name is Maria Chavira.
Soy de México.
I am from Mexico.
Tengo más de 20 años aquí.
I've been here for more than 20 years.
Y no es mucho lo que yo tengo que decir.
And it's not much what I have to say.
El Señor hizo una oración, veo.
Bill, you made a prayer, thank you.
Y yo creo en la justicia y creo que estamos aquí porque hay o debe de haber justicia.
I believe in justice, and I'm here because I believe that there should be justice.
No necesito hablar ni inventar tanto de lo que ya dijo el jefe de la policía.
I don't have to invent or respond to many of the things that the chief of police said,
O de lo que dijo la señora Rosemary.
or what Ms. Rosemary Johnson has said.
Solo algo que sí le digo al jefe de la policía respondiendo a lo que me dijo, a lo que dijo.
I would like to respond to what the chief of police told her.
Cuando me dio la oportunidad de hablar con él, al señor Carlos Quintanilla y a mi hijo,
When he gave me the opportunity to speak to him along with myself and her son,
le agradezco que haya hablado en español conmigo, que no entiendo mucho el inglés.
and she's very appreciative of the fact that he spoke to her in Spanish. She doesn't speak much English.
Pero me felicito por ser la primera persona y única de Grand Prairie que han tenido problemas, muchos problemas con los negocios, y era la única que había tomado la decisión de hablar con él.
He congratulated her for being one of the few and only Hispanic businesses that has had problems with the city of Grand Prairie to take the initiative to seek out a meeting with him.
Él dijo que no ha habido problemas con nadie como los que alguien me quiso.
He said that there has been no problems before like they have had with them.
Sin embargo, me felicito por ser la única persona que me atreví a hablar con él.
And he again congratulated her for being one of the first and only people to reach out to him to try to resolve any outstanding problems.
Soy una persona que, igual que dijo Rosemary, me gusta la paz y trabajo por el fin de sacar a mi familia adelante.
I'm the kind of person that I believe in hard work, and I work hard to make sure that my family is taken care of.
Tengo una hija que está preparándose para la universidad.
I have a daughter who's preparing for the university,
y otra niña que juega básquetbol y ha tenido 2 cirugías en estos últimos
and I've had a daughter who had knee surgery, who played basketball and has had knee surgery.
Ha sido muy difícil para mí este tiempo en el que estoy tratando de sacar un negocio adelante por mi familia, con mi hijo.
It's been very difficult for her to bring forth this business due to all the family issues and family problems, medical reasons.
Y por una razón u otra no me dejan trabajar. Yo no creo que estoy haciendo algo mal. Es un negocio como cualquier otro negocio.
She doesn't believe that they have given her the opportunity to operate. She believes that her business is like any other business. She's worked hard at it.
Y las primeras veces que tomé la decisión de hablar con el jefe de la policía, que gracias al señor Carlos Quintanilla logró tener una cita, fue por cómo entraba la policía al lugar, cómo me hablaban. Ellos yo creo que no tienen derecho a revisar atrás de las barras. Esto lo entendí conforme saqué la licencia para trabajar, que son los del TAC.
She said that she's very grateful that the chief gave her the opportunity to meet with her, but that the reason that she first met with the chief of police was not because of any incidences regarding the outside of the club, but it was rather the manner in which the police officers aggressively entered her club, inspected her behind the counters, treated her and her personnel in a very questionable manner.
Intentamos trabajar con la policía como el jefe de la policía lo dijo, pero aparentemente nos apoyaron.
We did try to work with the chief of police, but apparently there was no real effort to really work with them.
Es por eso que se ha llevado todas esas cosas que no voy a repetir, ya las dijeron varias veces, son varias cosas, varios problemas. La intención que yo veo es sacarme del lugar para no seguir trabajando.
She doesn't want to continue to talk about what has happened or has not happened. She is firmly convinced that the sole motive is to remove her from operating her business at 2515 Jefferson.
Yo les agradezco a cada uno de ustedes y igual como les dije al principio, pero en la justicia y por eso estamos.
Again, she thanks you very much for giving her the opportunity to speak here, and again, she hopes that justice will prevail.
Thanks for being here, Ms. Chavira.